Last week, Darryl Strawberry, the baseball player, was in Charlotte. He was speaking at the Billy Graham Library, right?
That's right, sharing his testimony. And everyone knows Darryl Strawberry has been through it all, from Major League Baseball, through addiction, colon cancer, you name it, he's been through it. And he talked to the folks at the Billy Graham Library about his experiences. Of course, he's a 4-time World Series champion, an 8-time All-Star Major League ball player. And I spoke with Darryl one-on-one about those struggles and what helped him overcome them all.
2 outs, and Darryl Strawberry, it's a high fly ball, deep center field. That ball is way out of here.
High drive into deep right field. Evans back at the wall, gone.
What got you through all those years in baseball? You have such a record, and you have so many fans. How did you do it?
Well, I think it's because of my mom. You know, my mom was a very strong person, and she built real character inside of us, even though I was lost. And putting on a baseball uniform for me was like really a place to escape, you know, where freedom, my talent brought me to my greatness, but my greatness would eventually bring me to the destructive behavior.
Even though we saw you, breaking records with the Mets, with the Yankees, and yet you said you were broken on the inside. Why?
Well, because I come from a dysfunctional family. You know, my dad was an alcoholic, and you know, he beat me when I was a kid and said I'd never amount to anything. And I just remember the last time at the age of 14 years old, and him coming home and pulling out a shotgun and said he was going to kill the whole family. And had it not been for my mother, because me and my brothers went into action, and had it not been for my mother, we probably would have killed him that night. So it probably could have already been a tragedy in my life before I ever put a uniform on. Most people don't even know that. I ended up in drugs, lost, and just separated down the road, just having a bunch of stuff, accumulated a bunch of things, and no happiness. I mean, I think a lot of times people think stuff is going to bring real happiness, and it's just stuff. It doesn't bring you happiness. Money don't bring you happiness. And I think for me, I just learned to drown myself in partying and to escape from the pain.
And what was that period of your life like? I mean, you were living it out loud in front of the public, going through this addiction while you were still playing Major League Baseball. My
life was just played out in the public eyes because of who I was, but it never stopped me from performing. You know, my performance was like, go get it. But at the same time, I was dying inside and really wanted to be well on the inside, and it was such a real struggle. And at the end of the day, it takes people to help people, and that's why I think God has kept me here, to be a mouthpiece for Him.
A lot of people go to church, a lot of people say they believe, but nothing really changes in their lives, right? They're just going through the motions. So what happened in your life?
Well, I just didn't want to be a hypocrite anymore, like a lot of people, like you say. We straddle that fence, we go to church, and we talk about believing. We just go to church on Sunday, and then the rest of the week, what are we doing? So I realized, for me to get to a place where I needed to know God, I needed to spend time with Him.
Do you feel different? Is there, is God inside of you? Is there an energy inside of you that's different than it was before?
Oh yeah, it totally is. It's supernatural, because it's the power of the Holy Spirit that supernaturally works inside of you. It's a gift that does not come from man, it comes from God Himself.
So there are a lot of young boys and young girls watching, and they do idolize your career. What message do you want to send to them about maybe the relationship between their talent and their faith?
See, if I sit here and tell you that I'm a victim, then I can't win. You know, I'm an overcomer because of what has already been done. The price has already been paid for me. Christ has already paid the price for me, and now become an overcomer, and I can do, whatever I need to do to help somebody else.
Such a moving story. He was so honest, so humble, and such a champion.
Well, and I think so many people can relate to a lot of what he was saying, maybe not on the level that he was doing it, but having that feeling of trying to put out this one face to the world, right? But dying inside. Feeling as though no one's really seeing what's going on with you on the inside.
Right, and the fact that he was able to share the story of his childhood, right? How rough it was and how difficult it was to go through that with his father, I think takes enormous courage. And the fact that he was able to overcome it while the whole world watched is incredible.
Unimaginable that your parent would come home and say such a thing, and those young boys feel like they need, like you said, jump into action and do what they needed to do in order to protect the family, and they're just kids.